Now, we knew we had to have on for this show. Please welcome in my next guest. That's going to be Mr. Dan Geltrude, America's accountant. Who would have known that they're starting to push these folks back into some of these casual dining restaurants? What are your thoughts?
Well, to begin with, there's a lot of talk out there that fast food has become a luxury. What an oxymoron that is, Scott, right? Wow. I mean, fast food is now a luxury. Now, I disagree, I think, a little bit with what, the potential trend here may be related to. People are going to move from the drive-through fast food to go to sit-down fast food. I actually think both are going to suffer simply because prices are too high. So whether you sit down or drive through, it's still hurting your wallet the same way. Now, the talk about all this has really started from California because California pushed through that $20 an hour minimum wage, which is crazy because California is basically the model for unfriendly business climates, right? People can't make money. And only the government can stay in business, right, Scott, and continue to lose money. It doesn't happen in the real world, and that's why my final point here is I really believe that we need more business owners running for office because we need common sense and people that actually had to make payroll.
Yeah, signing the front of the check versus signing the back, that old chestnut, right? And you're right. It is perverse, and ever since 2019 when we began with the worries about this pandemic, the world's just been turned upside down. So maybe, just maybe, we are going to start looking at this fast food, short orders food as a luxury. I mean, I can't believe it either. I didn't grow up like that, neither did you. But maybe that's somewhere we're going with this. And again, to your point, we need to flood the market with more opportunities, and we need to flood the market with labor. And with this $20 an hour thing that you just mentioned when it comes to minimum wage in California, that's killing things. And I don't think that's the only place that's happening, and it hasn't been mandated that high in other parts of the country. But we had, say, Jim Murio on the show the other day. He owns a restaurant in Chicago, and he's paying upwards of $15 or more to get labor to come through the door there too. So whether it's mandated or not, that's a huge problem, isn't it?
It really is. So what you do is you're putting businesses in a position to figure out how to do business without people. Now, there are certain industries that you can do that in, and we even see that in fast food restaurants where they are moving away from using people, right? You're at the drive-through and you're putting in your order, and the person taking your order is in India. And then who's making your burger? Well, that's a robot. And then the only person in the place is someone who is handing you your food. So that's what businesses are going to have to do to get rid of these high costs. But Scott, where does that leave us? That leaves us with a lot of unemployed people simply because you keep raising the cost of labor.
You're exactly right. I mean, I could have a whole nother show about this issue, but this is a question I should never ask something I don't know the answer to, but I generally don't know the answer. Because I used to work in the tax division of the Boulder County Assessor's Office when I was going to school out in Boulder. Is there still a business personal property tax out there?
That I'm not sure of, Scott, to be honest with you.
I worked in that division, but what it was is basically these people, even though they thought they were getting around the fact of no labor, they would bring in machines to do a lot of the things, and then we were able to still tax them, and they didn't know that to the local proprietors. So we would have to go around and audit all these places, and they would be assessed a tax on even the oven that they've used in cooking the things out there. So I thought that would be an interesting thing to know if that's still the case. But to that point too, the municipality, we were doing that because we needed the money, right? And a lot of these municipalities are broke today, and they just don't have the foresight to know that what they're doing in putting a lot of these people out of business and having robots take their place is going to only hurt their own coffers too, right?
Right. So here becomes the crazy part of all this. You need people to work so that you can tax them. So now people are not working and, let's say, replaced by AI or robots. So now we got to tax the robots to be able to pay people to stay home.
I know.
It's
That
complete
is amazing.
nonsense. It's complete nonsense. Let the market decide the rate for labor, and that really solves the problem, Scott. It really does.
So we're going to tax the robots to pay the people to stay home. We're going to turn fast food into a luxury. And so the bottom end of the market is when you actually have to get out of your car and go in and sit down. That's going to be the bummer. Oh, my gosh. Where's the world coming to? I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. You're the perfect guy to have that conversation